You know, when we hear the name Anne Frank, a certain image probably comes to mind. The girl in the attic, a symbol of hope. But what if I told you the most remarkable thing about her wasn't just her story, but the brilliant, literary mind that was just beginning to find its voice? That's what we're going to dive into today.
Because, yeah, her circumstances are absolutely unforgettable. But what's equally astonishing is the sheer brilliance she put down on paper. So we're going to look at her not just as a victim of history, but as a truly formidable writer who is just starting to discover her own power.
You see, the thing is, her diary wasn't just a Dear Diary, today this happened kind of record. Not at all. She was actively crafting a narrative, she was examining her own life, and she was unearthing a voice with a philosophical depth that was just, well, it was way beyond her years.
So what exactly made her writing so special? It really boils down to her incredible ability to hold contradictions. She could be two seemingly different people, often in the very same diary entry. And this right here perfectly captures that dual nature. I mean, in one paragraph, she's describing quarrels over potatoes or her frustrations with her family, classic teenage stuff. And then bam, in the very next one, she's dropping these breathtakingly wise observations on human nature and hope. This blend of the everyday and the profound, that's where her genius really shines through.
This duality is really the key to understanding her worldview, and it's revealed in just a few key lines. We've pulled 3 that I think perfectly illustrate her incredible spirit, especially when you consider the unimaginable darkness she was facing.
Okay, first up, let's talk about her thoughts on human nature. And you have to remember, she's writing this while hidden away, with the constant, terrifying threat of discovery by people who are committing monstrous acts of cruelty.
Just think about that for a moment. This isn't just some hopeful little phrase. It is an active choice. It's a refusal to let the evil she was witnessing define her entire view of the world. It's an act of profound intellectual and emotional defiance, and it really shows her core resilience.
Next, let's look at what the act of writing itself actually meant to her. For Anne, this wasn't just a hobby to pass the time, it was a lifeline. It was her tool for survival. With this one line, she tells us exactly how she got through it all. Writing was her therapy. It was the one space where she could process her fear, her sorrow, and in doing so, find the strength to face another day. It's how she kept her mind and her spirit alive and free.
And finally, there's her incredible ability to adjust her own focus. While trapped and literally surrounded by misery, she made a conscious, deliberate decision about where to direct her thoughts.
Now, this wasn't denial, this was a strategy for emotional survival. She actively chose to focus on the slivers of light, a patch of blue sky, a chestnut tree, the goodness she saw in other people as a way to endure the overwhelming darkness. It's just an extraordinary lesson in perspective.
What's so amazing is that over the 2 years she kept the diary, you can actually trace the evolution of her mind. She doesn't just grow older, you watch her grow into a profound thinker, right there on the page.
You can actually see it happen in stages. The early entries are more playful and chatty, focused on friends and school. Then she starts to turn inward, examining her own character with a brutal honesty that most adults can't even manage. And finally, her writing expands to tackle the biggest questions out there: war, cruelty, and her own identity in a world that was trying to erase it.
And this all brings us to a really crucial reframing of her legacy. We so often focus on the tragedy of how her life ended, but the real power of her diary is in how she lived, intellectually and emotionally, through her words.
This is really the key takeaway. The diary would be a literary masterpiece even if she had survived and lived to be 100. The tragedy is that the world lost a writer who had the potential to become one of the greats. Her book is immortal because the sheer magnitude of her talent was just undeniable.
I think this quote really says it all. Her physical world shrank to just a few hidden rooms, but her intellectual and emotional world, it knew no bounds. Her mind was vast, and every single page of her diary is proof of that. And that leaves us with a final, lingering thought. Anne's voice was almost lost to history, saved only by sheer chance. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other brilliant, vast minds are out there right now, hidden by circumstance, just waiting to be discovered? It's a question worth thinking about.